achievements have been and continue to be extra civil and extraordinary. Not many have been called to be passionate about cardiology and internal medicine, but at the same time become outstanding resident and outstanding research fellow. And yet, this guy did not stop there. Siya ay nagsimulang magtulak ng kinakailangang reforma sa larangan ng pampublikong kalusugan sa pamamagitan ng Health Education Reform Order, HERO or HERO initiative, kung saan isa siya sa naging punong autor nito noong 2007. Ang kanyang makulay na karera sa medisina at saka sa corporate life ay laging nakatuon sa pagbibigay ng kahulugan sa kanyang di makasariling layunin, na laging maglingkod para sa higit na ikabubuti ng nakararami. And this is something we clearly see in his Facebook following. Parang mga almost 150,000 yata ang kanyang Facebook followers. Kung kaya't ang kanyang mga kaibigan ay jokingly but lovingly refer to him now as ang pambansang meron. This time, he will be generously sharing his reflections on the last 8 months on COVID, as well as some fearless projections on how the pandemic might play out in 2021 and beyond. Let's give the floor to the ever-energetic health reformist who also happens to be the chairperson of Kill COVID and also who is celebrating his wedding anniversary today. Let us all welcome Dr. Tony Liachon.
Nako, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Ito po, wala po siyang leader. I was just summoned to lead based on a lot of webinar lectures. But I won't actually abandon that particular responsibility to serve our country after the National Task Force is deemed po. But first of all, I'd like first to honor and commend Mayor Joy Belmonte for the opportunity to add value. To Secretary Ed Año, na busy po ngayon because of the IATF meeting. And then, nandito ang aking kaibigan, si Undersecretary Bernard Florese. From day one, I was summoned by the palace po to serve as advisor to Secretary Galvez. And then, Attorney Dot Gancayco, salamat sa iyo. Si Edsel Salbanya, our family infectious disease doctor. For a long time, wala po ako nire-referan na doktor sa Manila Doctors kundi kay Edsel. And his father-in-law, former Ramon Mike Saysay awardee po, kasama rin po namin sa Manila Doctors, Ernesto Domingo. Si Congressman Stella Kimbo, maraming salamat to, regards to kay Miro. Your mom po was present during the signing of the Health Education Reform Order in 2007 with President GMA. It was the insertion of preventive health into the curriculum. That was the first time I met your mom. And of course, naka-work ko rin si Undersecretary Liceo Rio and men and women who are serving in the interest of Quezon City and the country. Hindi ko na ho kayo mabanggit lahat. My classmates in Nonoy Zuniga will sing after this from med school and Noel Cabangon. I'd like to synthesize everything in 8 months, and hopefully in about 20 minutes, I could give you a snapshot of what happened in March and then up to the present. So we define this as past, present, and future. And I'd like to focus lang po on the following topics. So I'd like to zero in on the current global and local data. And I was really envisioning that Secretary Florese and si Dr. Rolly Cruz would present. Kaya napredict ko na po yun. Kaya alam ko po na I had to focus on something. And then, what are the interventions evidence-based, knowing that the vaccine is not yet there? And as a disclosure, I used to work with Pfizer po for 2 decades and Unilever. So I launched famous products in history like Lipitor, Celebrex, Norvas, and some vaccines. So I have extensive experience in the corporate world before I retired in 2010 because of the death of my mom. And then I'd like to emphasize the role of civil society. Ang hirap po ng ginagawa ng government. And at the time na kailangan natin kung pababain ang cases, I think the finishing blow or the kick should be coming from the civil society. Hirap po ng trabaho nila. Madali lang po tayo mag-bash or mag-rant, but it's difficult working in the government. Now, ito ho yung picture na love ko po. I was at Camp Crame every day and risking your life during the time na ECQ. My fondest moment really working with the generals, Secretary Ed Año, Pin Lorenzana, Secretary Galvez, andun din si Ted Herbosa. Working with the generals, kakaibang experience of a lifetime. Kasi as a physician, a stickler to rules, stickler din sila. But they need support on the medical aspect. So imagine niyo yun na combination ng military and then medical experts. So there's no room for politics here kasi kailangan science-based. And that's the problem with me, na sometimes po, you want to push on something na hindi ayon sa siyensya, doon ho nagkakaproblema. Kaya naging pambansang meron po tayo kasi nagko-comment tayo on things ang tingin natin dapat gawin. Now, ito po yung global data para maintindihan po ninyo. 14 million globally at 1 million ang namamatay. In America, almost 10 million and 200,000. Ang presidente ng Amerika nagkaroon ng COVID. Imagine niyo. And hindi rin ho siya naniniwala sa mask, sa social distancing. So it's leadership driven. And even UK Boris Johnson had, of course, COVID, and also the Brazilian president. And we know that it's leadership-driven. Success of South Korea and New Zealand in terms of their COVID response, makikita natin yun. So I believe always in leadership and governance. At na nakita ko in most of the countries na re-review natin. As a physician, si Edsel mag-explain on COVID, so I would dwell on certain aspects related to the discussion. Tama ang sinabi niyo po. Hindi naman ho nakakahiyang sabihin. Because it is true. Ang Philippines ang may longest lockdown in the world. Most lockdown natatapos po ng 100 days. Tayo po nasa doble na 200 days. At ang mga countries po in Asia, except for Indonesia, tayo na lang po dalawa ang di nakapag-flatten ng curve. Ang Cambodia, Myanmar, mas mahirap na bansa sa atin, Vietnam. But they were able to do that. At alam niyo po ang sikreto, nasa pag-i-increase po ng healthcare capacity. Kahit meager ang budget nila, they were able to invest on healthcare capacities. And then, ang isang rason bakit ang Indonesia at ang Philippines ay hindi nakakapag-flatten ng curve. Kasi ako, ang paningin ko at nabasa ko, because of the archipelago setting, na pagkatapos nating mapababa in the National Capital Region, there will be pockets of increases in other areas. You remember Cebu, then you remember Western Visayas, then you remember Northern. So therefore, since when 7,100 islands tayo, we should actually treat ang Pilipinas as separate country in itself. Kasi pag natapos ang Singapore, South Korea, or landlocked areas, tapos na eh. Madali sila in control. While for Indonesia and other countries, mas mahirap. So, ito ho ang numero. I'm glad to say na ang Philippines na, hindi na siya number 1 sa cases kung hindi po ang Indonesia. And I think, geographically speaking, ito yung nag-explain kung bakit po ang Indonesia-Philippines ay mahirap i-control because of the archipelago setting. So, dapat LGU or ang local government ang mag-carry out as if it's a country na separately. Like say, si Deng Xiaoping said that you have to treat China as 1,000 countries like Singapore. Now, ito ho yung kahapon na data. Number 18 tayo, 362 cases. Pero ang mahalaga ho sa akin, na dinidiscuss ko kanina kay Congressman Kimbo, yung cases na nakikita natin na bumababa. Kung mapapansin niyo ho rito, yung index cases natin nun, kokonti lang. Ang problema ho natin, hindi ho tayo nag-close ng border kagad sa China when they declared in January 24 na dapat po i-close ang border. That's very, very important. And then, sana nakapag-playbook tayo on other countries. They established their healthcare capacities right away. Now, ang biggest problem natin was actually in August. But yesterday and the other day, we're down to 1,500 cases. It's the second day na less than 2,000 tayo. And meron tayong downward trajectory na nakikita natin going to the last quarter of the year. Now, ito yung famous hammer and dance concept of Thomas Pueyo, a social writer, that if you have an acute acceleration of cases, then during that particular time in March, nag-lockdown ang Philippines. Kasi na-surprise naman lahat eh. Hindi lang naman ho tayo nag-lockdown, Italy, Vietnam, and other countries. Pero dapat mabilis tayo nag-action in terms of testing, contact tracing, establishing isolation and quarantine. Natagalan po tayo doon. Dapat to ma-accomplish usually natin ng 3 buwan ho yun para makapag-dance ho tayo. But we have to maintain certain things when we reopen the economy. So para kang bailarina rito, you have to keep the reproductive number less than 1, and the other things na ginagawa na natin. So let me explain the reproduction number. This is from University of the Philippines, Octa. It's a mathematical term na nag-i-indicate kung gaano kabagsik ang pagkakahawak. Pag sinabi nating R0 or R0, ang isang infection can cause less than 1 infection, and therefore the disease will decline and eventually die out. So ayaw natin ang numero na more than 1. So yan ang lagi kong tinitingnan, yung reproduction number. So titingnan natin ngayon kung ano ang performance natin. As October 20, binigay po sa akin to ni Professor Ranjit Rai. Ito po yung summary. The number of cases in the Philippines has been decreasing and currently at less than 2,500. The R0 in the Philippines is 0.8. In NCR, it's 0.7. For the first time, less than 1,000 cases na tayo ngayon. And ang Quezon City is 0.67, lower than the national standard. At ang positivity rate natin, ang benchmark is less than 5%. We're down to 7%. And hopefully, the Philippine Red Cross problem masolve natin because testing is essential to reopen the economy. Now this one is an important book na related kung bakit namin naisip na sumali dito. I'm sure si Congressman Stella Kimbo nabasa tong librong tong Switch. It's a book by the Heath brothers from Stanford and Duke. And ang iniisip dito is how to change things when change is hard. And nakita ko na there should be a blueprint for change per kada local government unit. Kung makikita nyo iba't ibang performance from worst to the best, nakikita natin ngayon San Juan, nag-struggle, and then Quezon City, and then Navotas pababa. So I think if you're, let's say, a leader of an organization, you have to direct the rider and follow the bright spots or best practices ng bawat local government unit. And you have to script the critical moves kasi pag walang checklist, mahihirapan and point to the destination. For example, you're a barangay captain. You can apply this. You're a councilor or a governor. No. Pero it's very difficult to motivate the elephant. Yan ang taong bayan. Matigas ang ulo. And one of the reasons why we fail in our country is the lack of education on health standards and ineptitude. Ang ibig sabihin ng ineptitude, knowledge exists, but you fail to apply it correctly. And then there must be a blueprint for change. Kasi hindi susunod ng elepante. If you go to Thailand, meron ka elepante, you have to tweak the environment and try to build the habits and rally the herd. So dito lumalabas ngayon yung aspeto of motivating the elephant, and that is the civil society. Mahirap yan if the leader cannot actually motivate the elephant. Now, ito po yung September 17 na through the kindness of Atty. Dod and Jim Art and all of you guys here, I could not name you everyone, and thank you. This was a watershed, an important milestone na hindi ko naman kilala si Mayor Joy, but she was accommodating para ho makapag-add value ho kami. Pero ang nakita ko lang ho dito is leadership and governance. And then if we could make a template from Quezon City, NCR, Marikina, or any other LGU, and then the civil society can share the vision and share the responsibility of the government, and of course be a role model for every LGU. Perhaps the other LGUs in the country can actually flatten the curve, sabay-sabay. But it's difficult considering we are an archipelago country. Now, sinabi na ni Dr. Rolly Cruz yan na mababa na ang Quezon City. Kaya I had 2 slides only for Quezon City. And congratulations, kasi bago kami dumating, nasa downward trajectory na po ang Quezon City. And we thought that by helping Quezon City, we could flatten the curve by Christmas Day. Tinan niyo po ang reproduction number nila, 0.69. I will not discuss the other metrics, but it was explained already by Secretary Florese and, of course, Rolly Cruz. Now, ano ang goals ho namin? One of the things na nakita natin is the lack of education ignorance. So, nasa city ordinance na po, naka-second reading, that we would like to integrate COVID epidemics, disaster preparedness into the curriculum, pattern after the hero of 2007 when Secretary Labastro nandun, Jesse Lapus, and President Macapagal Arroyo, preventive health lifestyle, so that you can create the next generation of Filipinos, resilient, adaptive, agile, to respond to any disaster. Kasi consider we're battered by 20 typhoons a year, dapat para tayong mga Hapon, that we can actually, or Japan, and other countries in Asia, that we can adapt to the situation. And you need a structured education for this, coupled with public health campaign. And then, let's train the trainers. Kaya 200 plus barangay captains and councilor. So we have a blueprint right now that they can share sa barangay. And then maximize the social media, not the negative one, but science-based, together with the LGU. And since may mataas ang unemployment rate natin, what particular livelihood programs ang pwede nating itulong sa LGU? Of course, that will be discussed by Congressman Kimbo. And enlist other stakeholders na hindi lang ho taga Quezon City. Now, look at this. For those people na ini-ignore ang history, then we are doomed to repeat that. That's a quote from Santayana. Doon ho sa 1918 pandemic, 500 million ang cases. 50 million ang namatay. Almost one-third of the population. And this was after the war. Ang second wave nila, grabe ang nangyari. So, ano nangyayari globally ngayon? Now, this one is my favorite slide for today, October 14, from John Hopkins. Countries that were unable to control their outbreaks have tended to suffer the most economic pain. So, in this left area, Vietnam, na ang GDP 10 times lower, and China, Asian countries fared relatively well on the metrics. No, makikita natin dito, South Korea, New Zealand, but on the lower portion on the right side, kahit mayaman kang country, they were the hardest hit, more debt and largely economic, like UK, Spain, US, nandun. So it's not about being the richest country in the world right now, the land of milk and honey in the number one case and the number one death. Imaginein mo yun. Then the president nagkasakit pa. So it's about thinking about a balance. Now look at this. After they have flattened the curve on Europe, in the spring, look at right now France. Bagong data, siguro less than a week. Look at United Kingdom, Spain. Because of their non-belief in the health standards, dumami uli ang cases nila. But because they're a rich country, ang question, the $64 question, can the Philippines afford a second wave? Since we have not invested too much on healthcare. Ang mga doktor natin umaalis. Ang infrastructures natin kokonti. Ang molecular labs natin dinidevelop. These are rich countries, but they are not exempted from a second wave. Now, ang projection ng Financial Times ng JP Morgan, we will have small second waves because ang healthcare capacity ay nandun na until the arrival of the vaccine. So, therefore, ang kailangan natin dito is for the civil society to become resilient and then follow the IATF guidelines. Kasi we cannot forever close the economy because ang taas ng unemployment rate natin. So, mga kababayan, ang ibig ko sabihin mo dito, magkakaroon tayo ng maraming second wave unless the civil society will actually act. Now, the vaccine, since galing po ako ng Pfizer, well, the phase 3 is actually on track last quarter of the year. And then hopefully, successful ang phase 3, magkaroon ka US FDA approval by the first quarter of next year. Hopefully, we can have the vaccine. And then together with the Russian, the Chinese, the Astra and everything, we can have multiple orders so that by next year, sa SONA of the President, we can actually vaccinate around 50% to 70% of the population, leading to herd immunity, which I think Edsel will discuss later on. So the future is that we need to reopen the economy, maintain our health standards, and then wait for the arrival of the vaccine. But we need to plan. What is the blueprint right now for the vaccine? Kulang ang budget, 2.2 lang na project. Ang kailangan 12 billion. Sino ang bibigyan? Sino ang vulnerable patient? Alam na po ba natin yun? We don't want another disaster in vaccine na mangyari, lalo na kailangan natin. So the rate limiting step, ladies and gentlemen, is actually sa akin, ang pagdating ng vaccine that will actually save the Filipinos. But, while waiting for the vaccine, we cannot allow yung mga Philippine Red Cross problem na hindi nabayaran kasi yung testing na yan, critical to open the economy. We need to maintain yung mga isolation and quarantine facilities and then quickly establish the contact tracings because these are the pillars for reopening the economy. Now, nandun po ako na na-craft to. Napakaganda po nito, hindi lang po properly articulated minsan kasi sa kabilisan. But the Kill COVID should focus on prevention. Kasi an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Ang mahal ma-confine, usually 500,000 to 1 million ang gastos pag na-confine ka. And since lumabas na yung mga trials ng hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir, may not be effective, ayaw mo mako-confine because of the likelihood na magkasakit ka, ang laki ng gastos, and the higher mortality. So we don't want that to happen. Because right now, PhilHealth pa rin, may problema pa rin tayo in terms of the case rate pag na-admit po tayo. Now, these are hardworking gentlemen. Secretary Galvez and Mayor Magalong. Kaya ko lang pinakitang slide na to. Nagkaroon ng surge sa Baguio. And kausap ko lang si Mayor Magalong last night. Ang sabi niya, Tony, kahit kami number 1 sa contact tracings before, hindi pwede kahit role model ka. Nagkaroon sila ng surge because of the butchers and the PNP officers. But nakontrol na nila yan. So I think ang kailangan natin is to believe in our government officials, but let us challenge the status quo kung meron silang pagkakamali or kailangan nating ayusin. Like for example, the DOTR of less than 1 meter, challenge siya ng medical community, and then binalik naman ng presidente kaagad kasi magkakaproblema ho tayo doon. So these are the things na gusto nating i-mention. Now, may quarantine fatigue na po talaga. Ako, I'm holding clinic almost every day. Natatakot ako because of my family magkaka-apekto. And a lot of people talagang makikita mo. But you want to work, then you have to maintain your health standards. A lot of people also merong long COVID syndrome. Yung kahit magaling ka na, meron ka rin brain fog, may fatigue ka pa rin, and everything. So hopefully, we can sacrifice for the last 3 months, and then so that we can have a joyous Christmas as we await the vaccine. Now, evidence-based, napatunayan na natin that social distancing, number 1, face shield, and of course, ang mask, very important yan. Yan ho kailangan natin isa-isa. Parang Swiss cheese model ho siya. Ang social distancing, 1 meter, 91% reduction. 2 meters, 95%. 3 meters, 96%. Ang mask, 67% lang as a single measure. Ang face shield, 78%. But, kung pagsasama-samahin, 99%. So it's not a perfect one. So everybody should actually use this particular health standards. Napaka-importante niyan. Now, I'd like to thank this, I'm down to my last 3 slides. Hindi ko po kayo nababanggit, but I'd like to thank Quezon City, government, Liga ng mga Barangay, Rotary, UP Women's Group, the Philippine Academy of Family Physicians, National and Quezon City Chapter, the Philippine College of Physicians, Urban Celebrity, PCCI. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Maraming salamat din po to the 142 barangay captains, and hopefully, this can be a blueprint for change. And thank you also for the councilors and the 250 or more crusaders following us right now po. Nobody is well until everybody is well. This is my good friend, Dr. Greg Makasait, my good friend at Manila Doctors. He perished. Nagkaroon din ng sakit yung asawa niya. But he died sa Manila Doctors. This is my professor, Dr. Raul Hara from UP. And of course, the wife of my good friend, Dr. Edgar Chalian, neurologist. Karaming namatay po doon during that time. And we don't want that to happen to our healthcare workers. This is my daughter, Vanna, from Pobeda. When I was removed from the National Task Force during Father's Day, almost yun sabi niya sa akin, Happy Father's Day, Papa. Time and again, I've constantly reminded you to step back from helping, all because you end up getting hurt. And as your daughter, I hate that the most. And sharing you to the world for most of my life, for almost 2 decades, advocate po tayo. It has been very hard. But it gets harder in times like this. That was 2 days after I was out of the NPM. Time to concentrate in serving the Filipinos in your clinic and hospital. Again, happy that you're home today. And I love you, Papa, and thank you for the hero that you are. That's coming from my daughter, Vanna, was a physician then. And today is our wedding anniversary.
Yay!
Katulad ni Rolly. My wife is a pediatrician, kaklase ko sa med school. I have 2 doctors, Vanna and then Jolo. And I have 1 public official, board member from Oriental Mindoro. And why are we doing this? It's because we're doing this for our family, for the next generation Filipinos. Kung di tayo kikilos, kawawa naman po sila. Ako pabalik na, I just turned 60. Paano naman ho sila? So, the talent, your skills and attitude, we should all step up to the plate because tayo okay na eh. How about the next generation? So, I'd like to end this with this particular millennial movie na paborito ko, the Harry Potter. And Dumbledore, sinabi niya kay Harry Potter, well, we can apply this. We can make the choice to live as socially responsible citizens or descend into anarchy or chaos. Should we do that? We can make a choice to follow the rules or break them. Should we do that? Like our health standards? We can make a choice to be right or wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about our choices. And it's important because our choices, it is not our abilities that show that we truly are. Importante yung choice natin to choose the right things in life. And that will show the character of a person in the midst of crisis. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doc Tony. You are truly an inspiration to all of us. Naiyak po ako dun sa message po ng anak ninyo. And sana po ay wag po kayong magsasawa to serve our country because we need people like you. Doc Tony, it's always a breath of fresh air to hear from you. And hindi po kami nagsasawa na makinig sa inyo kahit gabi-gabi namin kayong pinapakinggan sa inyong FB Live.